Hello everyone, Xanaro Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and in today's video I am doing another Black Clover deck profile. Like I said, your local game store should have in the pre-release events for Black Clover and Bleach version 2, so I'm going to be making a lot of deck profile, just like kind of deck list cores for everyone to be able to use to, go into these upcoming weekends to have some kind of, structure to build their deck, right? But with that being said, a premise that none of these are tested because we don't have the cards yet, so I've not been able to test it. But in today's video, we are going to be doing the Green Captain's deck, which is what I have termed it, and it is all based around Mereoleona, who is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. She is such a boss, so cool, and her card shows just how powerful of a character she is in the show. 7 energy, 1 action point, so it is a green ramp deck. You do need to get to a significant amount of energy before she comes down, and she is going to have a lot of power once she does it, right? 5,000 BP generates you 1 energy, raid in live. Raid on top of your Mereoleona. Impact 1, damage 2. She always has that as long as she raided. That is so good. It makes your opponent want to block her, but if they do, they're going to take the impact, but you don't really want to let her get that damage 2 out. She also says, activate main if on the front line once per turn, choose one other character on your field and switch it to active. It gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn, so she powers up all your other commanders to be able to get, big BP boosts, and then some of them, when they're boosted up, they get extra value. You're going to be able to provide a lot of 5k bodies on the board. This is the main card of the deck, and the main one you want to see, have to run it at a 4 of. Absolutely have to. Next up, we got Yami. 5 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 plus BP, 1 energy generation, and this is the color trigger. I chose to go with the Yami color trigger as opposed to the other color trigger that green has, mainly because you want to play this Yami, and I was trying to maybe, initially do a split between the two of trying to run the Yami in the other one, but I think that this Yami is so important to be able to push the state of the game, right? It is your color trigger. When played, you may pay 1 AP. If you do, choose one of the following. Choose up to 1 rated character on your opponent's front line and place its top rated card into the sideline, or you may draw 2 cards. So it's either a consistency piece to help you see cards that you need, or it is a card that helps slow down your opponent's characters on the board by getting rid of the raid targets. Now, this is not as good as just being able to sideline a character, so I do wish that maybe this was just, sideline said character or something like that. But this does help you get over, some other cards that may be a little trickier, that have protection and stuff like that, right? But 1 AP is a lot to not kill a body. But he also says, activate main if on the front line. Once per turn, choose 1 character on your field. It gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn. So this can be himself or any other character on the board, which is really, really strong, being able to boost someone out. So he does not come in active, which is kind of an issue for him, but he does provide someone else another 1000 BP boost. Such a strong card for the deck. The Yami is who you're going to play earlier into the game to, give you a wall of 5k bodies to block with. And then being at 5k, hopefully it means your opponent can't answer them. And then be able to play your Mereoleonas to push an even bigger state of the game. Now, with that being said, we do run another Yami. And this is the Yami that a lot of people will be running in their Black Bull green list. And this is the 4 energy, 2 action point Yami. He is 4,000 plus BP, and he does generate you the 1 energy. If a character on your field has BP higher than its base BP, reduce this card's action point cost in your hand by 1. So essentially, if you have increased anyone's BP, he gets to come down for 1 action point instead of 2. He just says, during your turn, this character gains 1000 BP and 2 damage. The combo to get him out is going to be a little weird because to be able to reduce him, you do already have to use one of your BP increasing effects. So you're going to have to use your Mereoleona effect on him, which you really don't want to do before that. You're going to have to use some of your other effects, right? Because you want to save hers for him. So that way you can play him out and then use her to switch him to active, and now you have another damage 2 card on the board. It is a get trigger in live, so I think that that's why this one is just a 2 of, and it is the 2 action points, so it may be a little clunkier in the hand, but I do feel like this one could be one of the big stars of the deck, and after I do some play testing, I will try to see if I can bump it up. We are running another 2 of this Fugolian Vermilion. 4 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 BP, 1 energy generator. This character, if this character has 5,000 more BP, it gains impact 1, and it is an active trigger. I do wish that this one was also a, get trigger, because the deck is going to feel a little clunky, and I do think that these two guys are the stars of the deck outside of, your big drops, but you don't want to run a ton of them because you want the deck to feel a little more consistent, and hopefully if you just see one of them each, it's enough to close out the game. Like I said, I'll have to test on this because you do need to run a lot of double energy generators because you need to get to that 7 energy, but I do think that the Fugolian and the Yamis can end some games before you even need to with the Mereoleona. Now, going on to one of my other favorite characters in the deck, in the show, is Charlotte, our Blue Rose Knights captain. 4 energy, 1 action point, 3,500 plus BP, and this is our double energy generator with step. That's why we have to run this one at a 4 of. She is so important. She is a draw trigger in life. She has step, and she says during your turn, if Yami's on your field, this character gains 5,000 BP, 500 BP. So she's gonna be your, step double energy generator, but she can also provide some pressure early in the game. If you have multiples of her out, you don't feel bad moving her up because she has step to go back to the energy line. And if you have Yami out, you have a lot of 4K bodies. So you can just see here, this is a lot of 4K bodies that you can throw on your opponent at a pretty decent spot of the game and do pretty well. Now, going on, we do have our Coral Peacocks captain, Dorothy. 3 energy, 1 action point, 3,000 BP, double energy generator, and this is the main reason we are running her. If your opponent does have a purple or red, she just costs 2, so that may come up, and it can be really cool if it does. She does not have a trigger, which is a little unfortunate. I do love the art on this card, but only running 2 of her because we do want to curve out a little bit. We needed to run a couple more 3s in the deck, and she fits perfect, giving us that double energy generator. And we are running 4 of our 3 energy, 1 action point Mereoleonas, 3,000 BP double energy generator, so really, really good. You want to play her on your back line, and she says, when play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 character card with 4 or more required energy among them and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you add a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So she only grabs you 4 or more, so this is only going to grab everything from the Charlotte and up. That is still a lot of targets for a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different targets, so you are going to be able to hit with this. And in any case, she is a 3,000 BP body if you need to use her. But you can see here, we are trying to run a lot of double energy generators, and her name is Mereoleona, so she works out for us. Only running 2 of the Aqua Deer Captain Real. 2 energy, 1 action point, 3,000 BPs. Really good stats for a 2 energy action point card. It is a draw trigger in life, and it will generate you 1 energy. And he says activate main. You can only activate this ability if you have 6 or more energy generation. This character generates energy even if it's on the front line until the start of your next turn. This is a really, really good effect because what you could do with this one is you can go ahead and activate this effect once you're at 6. He will keep generating that energy on the front line because it's just an activated effect, right? And then it'll keep it for the rest of the turn, and then now you can do your raid shenanigans and mess with your energy line and go below the 6 energy. So he is really, really cool, being able to give you some pressure. I do think that this may be one of the key cards I'm sleeping on that I might need to bump up to a 4 of, but like I said, you want to run so many other good cards too, and I just feel like the Charlotte is just too good not to play at a 4 of, and we need the Mereoleona name bodies. But I do think that this Real is going to be one of the most important cards in the deck. We are running 2 of the 2 energy, 1 action point Yamis. 2,500 BP, generates 1 energy. If he is active, he generates another energy. No trigger in life, so that's why we're only running 2 of this one. But like I said, we want to run a lot of double energy generators because we don't want to be trapped on our energy in this deck. 1 energy, 1 action point, Lumiere Clover. This is the Clover 1,500 BP double energy generator, and this is just one of the bounce cards. You play him, you have to bounce a 1 or less back to your hand. I do think that these cards still have a good spot in the game. Unfortunate that he does not have a trigger, and you can see here we're barely staying on that 40 triggers in the deck spot. It feels bad. Like, I wish that some of these other cards, like the Dorothy or the Yami, had triggers, or even the Mereoleona to like maybe be active or something would have been nice. But they love to, make green not have as many triggers as blue. That's for sure. But going down the line to our 0 drops, we are going to run 2 of the Jack the Ripper, the Green Praying Mantis Captain. He is a really good card, but I do feel like there are some other 0 drops that we needed to run over him. He just says if you have 6 or more energy generation, this character gains 1,500 BP. So later in the game, he is a 0 cost card that is not just a dead card in your hand, right? He can provide you some pressure in the game, and he is a active trigger in life, generates you 1 energy. Now, going on to a character that is not a captain, but I think is one of the best cards in the deck, because this card, this Charmy from the blackbulls, is super important in the deck. 0 energy, 1 action point, 500 BP, generation 1 energy. She's an active trigger, which is awesome too, and she says when played, choose up to 1 other character on your field. It gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn. This is going to help you proc your effects, being able to get value off of this Yami whenever your opponent or you boost one of your other characters' BP. Now you can play this Yami down for a little bit cheaper, and it just kind of helps you get those cool effects where you can boost up your bodies, and she can help you make some of these 3Ks, 4Ks, and really press the state of the game. And then we just have our 0-drop Mereoleona, 0 energy, 1 action point, 1500 BP, generation 1 energy, and she is a get trigger, which is absolutely awesome. Those are all the characters, and you can see the characters are definitely the stars of this deck. They provide a lot of BP. Your lower end is trying to help support boosting the BP, and you really want to run a lot of double energy generators. I think at the moment we have 2, 4, 8, 10, 14 double energy generators in the deck, which helps us go a long way. Alright, and then going to our events and sites, we are running 2 of the Clover Kingdom. I think that this site is too good not to play because it is going to help boost our bodies up to swing into our opponent. It says play this site as active onto your field. When played, look at the top card of your deck, then place it at the top or bottom of your deck. This kind of helps you get to your Mereoleona, so it's not a bad effect. When you do it, you kind of want to get to her. And it says activate main switch to resting all characters on your field, gain 500 BP till the end of the turn, further boosting your characters. You can have a board of a lot of 4500, 5500 BP bodies, and it really puts your opponent in a tough spot. It is a get trigger in life and a generation 1 energy. That's why I think that we can just run 2 of it, and it's not a bad card. One of the cards I thought I would be putting a 4 of in the deck, and then hopefully maybe after, you know, I do some play testing, I can go back and see if it needs to be up, but you're not finished yet. Mereoleona helping, you know, motivate everyone to train harder. 3 energy, 1 action point. It is a draw trigger in life, so you don't get it to your hand. I think that is a little unfortunate, but it does say choose 1 character on your field and switch it to active, which is so strong, as you can play a body, use this card, get it to active. It gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn, and if Mereoleona is on your field, you draw a card. So it's replacing itself, boosting a character, and making it stand back up, which is really good. It's going to have a lot of value in the deck, and you're going to see here, you're going to be pushing a lot of big swings at your opponent. I won't give up on you. It's just your final trigger. Have to run 4 of those. And then we have our Dark Clouded Dimensional Slash Equinox. Such a cool scene in the show. 4 energy, 1 action point. It is our special trigger in life, and it says choose 1 character in your opponent's front line with BP equal to or less than the highest BP of the characters on your field and sideline it, which is really cool because you can get up a Mereoleona up to a 8k in some good instances, which helps you, you know, be able to clear a lot of bodies. And in even other instances, you might be able to get her, you know, you can't get her to that coveted 10k, but you can sideline saitamas anyways, right? So it doesn't really matter. I went through this one pretty quick. I do think that this is going to be a really good deck. This is going to be one of my main decks once this deck is built. As you guys know, I'm a green player. I love my Kurapika so much, and I do think that this deck is going to give me a lot of things that Kurapika doesn't in some different aspects with the damage too, and, you know, a lot of different bodies. But let me know what you guys think about this deck. Do you think that this is going to be a meta deck? I'm going to try my hardest to work on this deck to make it a show out meta deck because I love Mereoleona. She is so cool in the show, and this is definitely one of my favorite decks to come out in the game in a really long time. Gonna be one of my top 3 decks I play all the time. But I want to know what you guys think. What deck are y'all looking forward to me, you know, doing a video on next, right? Leave in the comments below. That may sway me to, you know, upload another one next. Everything that I posted in the survey on the channel, please go and vote on which deck that you are most excited to see, because I'm going to try to compile that data to see how much, you know, popularity and like what people want to play really go into what shape our meta. I kind of want to give everyone a lot more of this analytic stuff that I'm working with on the channel. But please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.